For the record, the opinions and views expressed over the next hour are simply that. Opinions of the voices on this show. Nothing expressed now or in the future is representative of our sponsors and supporters. Though we do assume that our sponsors and supporters are as open-minded as the conversations you are about to hear. Ah, fuck it. Let's do this shit. Ding!
Hold your breath. Make a wish.
Hey, bonjour and welcome to
SprinkleSumSalt.
I am Bump Jonas here with the gang. Thanks for joining us. All right, let me light this thing up. And away we go. Excuse me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a special treat for you. A new host, himself, Mr. Thrax Nation. Yay! I have the pleasure and being blessed by the presence of my fellow members. I'm starting on the left here.
Bump Jonas, the one and only.
Oh, shit, Miss Kim. Justice.
Damo in the building.
All right, we got a special guest here in the back.
Paige
Ranger.
Paige the Ranger.
It's good to see you guys tonight. The two topics we got are social media, trauma, and healing.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Are you traumatizing us?
No, there's no traumatizing here. Just want to see, you guys' point of view on everything.
Speaking of trauma,
You know what I'm saying? So first question will be on social media, whenever. So as we start, just give your full good answers, and yeah. All right. Has social media been a benefit to society or a distraction? We'll start with the right, Mr. Damon himself.
I'll just say that social media has been more of a benefit to society than a distraction. So I feel like with the connection that you're able to connect with people all across the world, from social media, and that has been able to make a difference over time.
Ms. Justice?
I think it is, well, if we're comparing distraction to benefit, I'm going to say benefit because I don't feel like social media is a distraction for anything. I feel like if it's more of a benefit than it is a distraction.
Really?
So go with benefit.
Really? The way you believe in how the system is? Really? Okay.
We'll dig deep as soon as you let me dig deep.
I got you.
But for now,
The queen herself?
The rabbit hole queen is staying shallow. She's staying shallow.
I'm staying on the grass.
All right.
Well, I don't believe in shallow, so I believe social media is a double-edged sword.
Okay.
It is double-edged, very sharp, because as for every benefit it has, I believe that it has huge distractions.
Right.
Huge distractions. I believe it has caused many problems. I mean, we can jump right into political right now with all this bullshit.
Let's just go, in your opinion, what is the main problem it has caused?
I think it's caused distance in relationships. I think it has caused lies. I think it has caused...
Are you saying that humanity itself is
Yes.
like putting more distance between us?
It has its benefits.
Right.
Marketing. It has brought people closer together that have probably been separated for years. So it does have its benefits, but the other side of that sword is it is a huge distraction. People have lost connection to people.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a double-edged sword in my opinion.
Okay. That's a good answer. Thank you. Mr. Jonas himself?
Honestly, I think social media itself was built to be a distraction and to be a benefit to the companies that would administer and handle control. But I think in a way that, in an unexpected turn, it actually became a benefit to the people that were being distracted and a distraction to the people that are trying to take benefit from social media.
Okay.
That would be the gist of my answer.
Okay. Special guest, do you have any input on this question?
I think it's both a distraction and it can also be used as a good thing, like promotion itself, and just it can be both, really.
Can I ask a question of our once narrator, but now is a participant.
And let us know if you think Thrax Nation is a better host than the former host.
Yeah, there'll be a poll down.
There will be a chat. All crowns thumbs up. All CBDLs up for Thrax.
The booze in the chest say nah.
So
Haters.
So my question is, now I'm not even gonna pretend to know what was the first social media platform out, but you mentioned you think it was.
I was about to say Xanga.
Xanga was the very first.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
See, a lot of people don't. It got hot in about 2000.
You don't remember Thrax coming over all the time, like check my
Xanga
on your on the big TV screen.
I do, but I still don't even know what.
I had Little John as my song, and if you came on my page, it's like, that's my Little John face.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know, and I'm still not gonna pretend.
A lot of people don't.
My question here is, you mentioned it being built for almost for like evil intentions in your answer. So like Facebook was started by Mark, I'll suck anything you want me to, Berg. In college. So your answer almost made it sound like his intention as a young kid in college was to help promote big businesses as a distraction?
Not necessarily, no.
The cause got distracted.
I think so. I won't. Normally, I would probably try and dive into where it was started, but if we just focus on that piece, right? So Facebook itself was started in college, whatever, right? And it was piggybacked off of the idea of the internet and the social media and the connectiveness of people. So the idea itself probably had intention to be of great benefit, but it was never meant to be a good. It was never meant for public good. It was always meant to be something that was going to extract profit. You know what I mean? It was always meant to be something that was a capitalistic tool. So in that regard, it's inherently a distraction from my perspective.
Right. But you're thinking that his intent was that he knew that story?
No. I'm asking.
Let me go further. I'm just setting that part up where I see that it's a distraction. I'm not saying that he was like, oh my God, I'm going to have this thing and it's going to blind everybody. It wasn't like that. It was just like, I'm going to extract through the distraction of being on this thing where you're feeding your info and sharing with people, and from there, I'm then going to be able to siphon money. I'm in a bigger pool.
Yeah. Okay, I think once it started as one thing, and then he set forth and said, "Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah,
right.
Because I don't think he thought that he was going to be making money.
It's not him. It's not him. I'm going to say not the military industrial complex, but the business complex as a whole saw an opportunity. And if we look at where it was started, right? It was started in a college setting, right? Which is where a lot of the great innovations we have were started through government funded, which means taxpayer paid research, which I'm sure this was, and then it was done at a college. So at that point, even if it has some kind of funding, there's some kind of government taxation that goes into that as well. But I don't know the details. But my point is that when someone else on a higher level caught wind of what it was, they then said, yes, you can now have the golden ticket, access to money, and what you need. It didn't hurt that he already was in an Ivy League situation. He already had the connections to people and money. And we all know how that story went and so on and so forth. So that would be my reasoning or answer to that question.
Okay.
So Mike Zuckerberg got sucked in. He didn't originally want the shit to be some type of
I don't know. I can't.
But it ended up building into that.
If I'm gonna assume positive intent, I would say yes. That he just thought he discovered the next great thing that was gonna be really cool and make a lot of money.
Yeah, it wasn't. At first, it wasn't even like designed to really make money.
No.
That was the thing. Like it was just like, yo, we're just trying to connect and figure out who the fuck is on campus. Like,
that's true. That's right.
Your pants are fitting.
I would be.
That's funny.
That's good.
I mean, I guess that colors my own or exposes my own assumptions.
Yes.
Because my assumption in any of those scenarios is that the intent of any discovery or the intent of any scenario like that is to make money, to profit. That's just my
I mean, you
assumption.
immediately jump to
that's done.
conspiracy.
Not I don't think it's conspiracy. No, or I guess the way I said it may seem conspiracy.
It seemed a
theory.
little conspiracy.
No, that's on your left side.
If it's conspiracy, if it seems conspiracy because I'm speaking at a higher level, then I'm sorry, because I'm just talking at a high level of the scenario. I'm not saying that there is this secret cabal of business owners that are setting things up. I'm just saying that, and I don't necessarily disagree that could be there. I'm just saying that in that setting, you have these people that are looking to make money. These venture capitalists, people with money,
Pretty
and they
much
see a scenario.
after they figure out that something makes money, they decide to take that shit underneath their umbrella from that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that. If that's a conspiracy theory, then that's what it is.
I mean, but that's kind of like with almost anything that could make money, though. Like we could be like, that's what it. But it's just like, I feel like that. Okay.
But isn't that my point though? That it started off as something that was. I mean, I guess my point is the opposite of that, where I feel that it was intended to make money. So I did jump to that degree, but it ended up becoming more than what it was intended to be. So I'm looking past Zuckerberg's initial start off. I'm looking at the point that it becomes a public entity that everyone now is skyrocketing. And
So it started out as a benefit to
become
a contract.
I don't know.
But that wasn't necessarily the question, because the question was, is social media, was it a distraction?
Right, so I still stick to that. But you brought it
to the beginning, and you say, well, and in the beginning, like if we're talking about in the beginning, well, in the beginning, it started off as literally just trying to be like something to, connect people. So it wasn't necessarily built as like something to. I mean, I guess that in a way that it's still a distraction from everyday life or whatever. Right. But at the same time, it's not, because you're connecting with real people. That was before fake accounts and shit like that. It was literally like you're registering yourself, this, that, the other. That's what the information was. So it's like off rip, it was like, I feel like that was just trying to connect, and that wasn't necessarily built off of capitalism. But then it was like, anything that decides to make money, it's like, well, yeah, that's profitable. It's gonna go underneath the wing, and now it's gonna, they're gonna funnel money.
We're also talking about. I mean, I guess we could say we're talking about the start of it, but we're also talking about when it was the original inception of it. Where I'm looking at, as far as a distraction, I'm looking at it from when the business aspect got a hold of it and said, okay, this is
right, and that's what you got to think about, because whenever
did it, because when it was on the campus with all the 20,
none of that was even. It wasn't even a thing. Like
it didn't
back
have the
in
backing.
2010, whenever I first started mine. I think it was like 2010. There were like no ads whatsoever, like no groups or anything. It was just like you add a friend,
hadn't discovered,
and like you saw what your friends posted. Like that's all
it was. What? Okay, I'm not.
Wasn't Facebook like fire in like 07, 08?
I don't know.
I had mine back in like 07.
But for real though, like people say, like, okay, I'm not necessarily trying to refute Charles' point, but it's just something that dawned on me when I think about it. Like, okay, Facebook didn't have ads when it first came out, right? But that's just because no one had recognized the idea of latching onto it. Because before Facebook, there was AOL, there was Netscape, there was all these other, internet browsers, providers, chat rooms. I feel like
once they figured out how much time people spent on Facebook, they
realized,
took advantage of it. Like, holy shit. People are spending this much time on their social media because they're so addicted to like what people like want to say, or what they like about their posts, or like their comments. Like we could really put some shit in here and make something out of it.
That was no different
after it worked though.
Right. But that was no different than the effort they put into AOL. I mean, people used to get fucking free CDs in the mail, like try our AOL service for this fucking.
Yeah, they were waiting for it to like take.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it went through like a 4 or 5 year trial run.
There was still a capitalist bent on it. I mean, maybe not from the very inception, but definitely at the point that it became public. It was like, let's make money.
That's what happens.
So, but I mean, that's just. Sorry, we went in that.
Great conversation. Great conversation.
Post.
And I apologize. I tend to be long-winded.
Post, benefit, distraction. What's your opinion? Benefit,
My opinion?
distraction.
Well, I wanted to hear that because I like to.
Right.
The Mark Zuckerberg, I mean, you already saw where that was coming. Zuckerberg's like, whatever.
I'll suck anything, bird.
In my opinion, I'm double-edged sword. I gotta agree with the queen because it's, in my opinion, it really distracts what really should be paying attention, like what's going on in our country. I am a firm believer in that, but I also think it's a benefit because it's so much easier to get business going. You know what I'm saying? It's so much easier to talk to somebody. You know, it's so much easier to see what people are doing. You know, maybe you just like want to catch up someone you ain't seen in high school 10 years ago. Hey, type their name in. Everybody in this world has social media. I don't care who you are. There's you can't maybe like the people who don't want to be on the ground, but I'd say 90% of society has social media somewhere. You have a trail
It's
somewhere.
like if you don't, they're like,
you know, what's going on?
what rock do you live
Right.
under?
Well,
You know
but
what I
it's
you
mean?
purposeful. It's usually for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not even connected at that point. Like it's you're missing out on things that are happening. Like because there's a lot of news is like you'll find that shit on Facebook or on Twitter or something like that before you see it broadcasted on TV.
Oh, it's
Right,
super
right.
cool.
So it's just like stuff like that where a lot of times you end up in a lost place if you don't have at least some form of social media.
And that's,
Yeah.
for me, that's the benefit for me in the sense that, like, even if I felt that I may have been a somewhat educated person or knowledgeable person, but my use of that knowledge and my comprehension of what I thought I knew has expanded exponentially in just 6 months ago, let alone 3 years ago,
Right.
because of the information I've been able to gain from social
yeah.
media or just the internet itself, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, the internet has actually been the thing that's helped me get the information. But social media, whether it's been a hoax or a true post or a bad post, it's given me the opportunity to launch off of that and like, okay, is that real? Is that not
Right.
real? Where'd that come from? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? And so, though it does create rabbit holes, which is definitely can be a distraction, it still gives people the benefit of being able to find information that they need. 10 years ago, you had to go get a fucking library card and sit and read. You know what I mean?
Should there be a way to teach people how to maneuver the internet and
Yeah, there
find
should be.
information? Because there is so much information out there. So it's like, how do you be able to figure out what's actual?
What's the truth and what's bullshit?
So-
That's my question.
I don't. That's a slippery slope because look at education now, right? I mean, if we leave education in the hands of others that are going to regulate or moderate it, then it falls under the influence of that person's perspective, right? Their Toltec upbringing, right? And that'd be the same for the internet. Show people how to use it. So I'm going to show you how I want you to use it, but not how you might need to use it. So why should we regulate anyway? Just let them fucking use it. You know what I mean?
Trial and error.
We're gonna get the next question right after
right.
that. I appreciate you guys coming, all right?
And it's gonna be a problem.
Right. If social media didn't exist, do you guys think we would be interactive like the way we are?
I think family reunions come back.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel that.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, can you re-say that question?
Yes, sir. I got you. If social media didn't exist, do you think we would be more interactive or less interactive?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword because it's like we're more interactive in the sense of like it seems like on a person-by-person basis, like I can connect to somebody in Brazil right now, like and have conversation with them. So it's just like that's dope. So it's like that's interactive, but at the same time, like there used to be more of a sense of like being able to just go outside and you'll be able to see people,
Absolutely.
And it just seems like now that there's not as much of that, like, so, and especially with the quarantine and all that shit happening too, it's like, it seems like internet is almost the only way to be able to connect to people nowadays, so, yeah.
Just
Well, it's really hard to picture life without it, like once you've been on social media for so long, or it's just been around, whether you've been on it or not, it's just been around. It's really hard to kind of picture yourself, picture life without a social media, but I do think just like how evolution goes, that the way that people are, humans are created very creative. So if we didn't have the internet or we didn't have social media, we would figure out another way
Okay.
to be in contact with everybody or like learn from each other, just because that's in human nature, whether there's social media or not.
Okay. The queen?
I think it has distanced people. I really think it has. I mean, as much as it's brought us together, it's brought long distance people together.
Right.
And I think it's brought people who are intermediately together further apart.
Okay.
We don't visit each other anymore.
Right.
We don't have to.
Right.
So I think it's distanced. And yeah.
Mr. Bum Jonas?
So I think, I think the question is, if we didn't have social media, would people
Be more interactive.
I think people were interactive before social media. You know, they had the family reunions, there's juke joints, there's clubs, people, they're pen pals and all kinds of shit. People found ways to interact. So I think the interaction is gonna be there, was gonna be there. This is where it's the good and the bad, in my opinion. Like, I get it to your point that people are less appreciative of the time that they have with the folks right there because they're able to connect with people that aren't there that maybe they want to. But honestly, at the same time, it didn't change the interaction. People still get together in the same way they did. People still get ratchet. People still fucking post food on social media. What do people do when they get together? They eat, you know what I mean? You know, they flex. Your uncle pulls up at the fucking barbecue and the dope ass ride with
It's
the
like
brand
proof
new outfit.
almost. Like social media is like proof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I was with my family. Proof.
Like
Post on social media.
It's still it just if anything, the interaction was always there. It just enhanced it and changed it and expanded it from being just local to your 5 to 10 best friends to now you have 15 to 50 virtual friends that you deal with. So I don't think,
and everybody's in the party.
Yeah.
Whenever y'all are all in the party, everybody's got their phone out.
because they bringing everyone else in.
Like all you see on everybody's Snapchat is a bunch of
and all that
flashes
is
going
is,
at.
and all that is bring for real, like, if we go back to high school, what did you do on Monday? If you really was popping, doing your shit, you was telling the story or reminiscing with your voice, like, never fucking, you know what I'm saying? Sunday was lit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, social media just, like, back to his point, it just brings that now, like, proof, like, yo, we lit, we getting up.
I don't have to just talk about it and say it to you. Like,
I'm showing you. So
like,
I don't think the interaction changed. So I don't think it lessened the interaction. If anything, it just changed it. It morphed it, but it's still there. That it's always been.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
I can think it changed it.
Yeah.
I think you swayed me a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie. I was, and when I was going into this, I was agreeing the fact that I think it did distance us. But I'm not gonna lie, the way you worded that was very well. So I'm kind of, I'll give you a 0.25 on the point there, sir. All right, last question on social media, then we're going to get to the next topic, all right?
Let's do it.
Do you think social media, I want you to really think about this, do you think social media causes trauma? We'll start with Bump Jonas.
We should end with him. He's going to take too long.
No. That means you should end quick. We're going to go with that. How about that? You got your twin right here.
Does social media cause trauma?
Yes.
Yes and no. But yes, I'll stick with yes.
And why yes?
I just think it does because actually, let me refine my answer. I'm gonna say yes, social media causes trauma, but I think social media actually exacerbates trauma. It pulls out and increases the trauma that's already there.
Children watching.
I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna make it quick. I think people already have inherent anxieties and insecurities, and social media brings that out in them. It just, your interaction with it, your need for it, your want for it, the validation that comes from it creates an anxiety, and that anxiety is just ripe for trauma, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Queen.
Yeah, I think it absolutely does. It does. I think it creates bullies.
Yep.
And I think it enhances people. I think it enhances people's balls. I think people
are thugs.
I think it takes people who are inherently shy and sheepish. They grow balls and anybody can say whatever they want behind a
Yeah,
keyboard.
look at Catfish.
Yeah, the keyboard warrior.
Yeah,
Look at
the
Catfish.
keyboard warrior. There you go. So yeah, I think it creates tremendous trauma.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no way around it. I was curious to hear about your no side because you said yes and no. So I was like, okay, I was curious to hear like why you think it doesn't.
Same.
Because one thing about Bump is he is unpredictable. You think he's gonna say something and then he's like, yes, but no. We were expecting that. No, we were expecting that.
That gives you more of a perspective,
The only
different
thing
point of view.
predictable about you is that you're unpredictable.
Don't do that
back
loud.
to
That
my
was very
back
ugly,
to
bro.
me, yes. No, yes, it definitely does. I feel like just as much good as we hear about social media, there is that dark side to social media, and that is the bullying, the catfishing, the you could be a completely different you behind that computer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that probably goes for all social medias from the very start. Is once you could pick your profile picture, you could be anybody in the world.
I'm Rob Kardashian on Thursdays.
Exactly. Yeah, I was Kim on last Saturday. It's crazy. But yeah, and like, we've all seen Catfish. We all seen what kind of hurt that they go through on that show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you got the bullies that take it to social media and they're like, I can't say this to you at school, but I'm going to make a Catfish profile and I'm going to bully the shit out of you.
Right.
And then they live with that, because I feel like it desensitizes us, like social media desensitizes us so much because like, and I feel it within myself, like I'll see someone's post and then they'll be like, Grandma Nanny, I miss you so much, like I love you. Your grandma ain't on fucking Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, why are you saying this shit on Facebook? It's just, I don't feel you. I can't feel how upset you are because I feel as that you're trying to do this for attention, and I just feel like desensitized. You know what I mean? Because like, had she had told me that in person, I'd been like, so sorry. But it's like over the internet. It's just like texting. It's like such lack of emotion.
Right.
I hate when people do that stuff on social media. Because you can't feel nothing, and you're just trying to get attention for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, no.
Demo. I know you was waiting.
Does social media cause trauma?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I believe that it does. Even in all the cases that everybody else has spoken of, and even whenever you think of like, there's shit that you would have never seen, like if not for the internet. Like, like if not for, like even Facebook, like having to build guidelines and shit like that, because it wasn't that long ago that there was some crazy dude running around Ohio shooting people on camera, and it was like, like I clicked on a video one time and I seen that shit, so it's just like shit like that where, like you can't really take that shit away. You can't, like unsee it.
Yeah,
once
exactly. You see it, and there's like harsh
it's
shit on there.
And there's some crazy, like, let's not even getting into like the dark web of like where it can really get really crazy. But it's like even in the most base level of the internet, you can see some shit that like, you see a fight and somebody gets slammed on their head and like, that shit can be jarring for some people. So it's just like, trauma for one person might not be trauma for somebody else. But so like, I definitely think that social media just accentuates trauma.
What about the gateway it's become for sex trafficking?
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other topic. I mean, we cannot jump. But I'll say in my opinion, I think it causes a lot of trauma. I've seen it cause somebody from a great person to absolutely nothing.
Yep, right.
And it's nasty what kind of trauma because everybody's different. Everybody takes everything different. You know what I mean? Like you could be softer than on the emotional part of someone dying closer to you than I am. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and the bullying, very key point. You see kids commit suicide at the age of, from 9 to 12 to 14, 15, all the way to high school. It's ridiculous. And the suicide rates went up. I actually looked this up. The suicide rate has went up since 2000 to now has went up 44.6%.
Because of social media.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
there's the dark side.
Yes.
I want to answer your question.
Please do.
But
I'm waiting eagerly.
We've all been waiting.
No, but I definitely think that it brings out the trauma. But all of the things that you guys described are things that were already happening in everyday life. without the internet being there. It just
Yeah,
gave
but-
light
but-
to those things.
No,
But
in a
it's
lot of
so
ways.
But it made a good point that somebody give balls like them Spurgers. Somebody give balls. They won't come up and say it to your face.
Seeing that in real life.
That's true. That's true.
But you can see
that's
that
true.
over.
But that doesn't mean that thing isn't happening. It just means that now this kid is able to see it.
Exactly,
Right.
but that
I
causes
agree with
trauma.
that.
That's where the drama is caused. It's
But-
not caused because it's happening. It's caused because you experience it.
Right. Me seeing that has created trauma
Yeah.
for me. No, I'm not saying that. Well, go ahead. Pager has something.
The Rager.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't think social media causes it. It's the people that post the shit. So it's not. It wasn't made to sit here and let people like bully, which they do let people like bully each other, but like it's not. That wasn't its purpose. So
Right.
whoever, it's the people that make it traumatic. It just.
It's the people.
people's
It's like
lives.
guns, right?
It
When guns
happens
don't kill
lives.
people. People kill people.
Oh,
But I mean,
It's like the
but
George
the
Floyd
bully-
shit, but the George Floyd video, like that was traumatic. But it was like, yo, like
That
if we're
needed
not,
to
yeah,
happen.
like that, you know. So it's
That
just,
trauma had to happen.
it's stuff like that where it's like, you know, like it's.
So
yeah,
that's the
you lay in
benefit to it.
That's why I feel like.
But I mean,
like,
so-
it's-
how do you
trauma-
explain
it causes trauma.
the increase of suicide rate from social media? If
because
it was already in everyday life.
well, I think the suicides. I'm not saying that the suicide rate was already high. I mean, a suicide rate of anything over 0% is high, right? But
Right.
I'm saying the suicides were already there. They're already happening.
Yes.
The triggers and the tools that created it, the environment was already there. Social media just gave people more ways to get entrapped into it. What I was going to say was that as far as the bullying, if you think about it, the bullying is really nothing more than middle school and high school life just being transferred to social media, which
But now I can meet thousands of people underneath your post instead of one person.
right. I mean, but you can't be
Yeah.
surprised at it in a sense because of. You know,
Now you're just getting bullied by Jill at school.
21, 24-year-old, 30-year-old is using it in that manner. Like the majority of the people who are using it are, you know, right in that, you know,
But
12
if that's not
to
what you
18
see,
range.
if what you're seeing is getting
Right, no,
underneath your
yeah,
posts is
I'm not-
30, 50 comments of, okay, I got 100 comments, but
Yeah.
50 of them are terrible, you know, nasty comments.
Right.
Majority of people are nasty on the internet.
Right,
That's
right.
that's
Yeah.
how it feels to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
the
what
majority of
people-
other.
When you're
It doesn't matter that you underneath your comments, it's like a whole bunch of
right.
congratulations and we love you and I don't care. No, those same people are underneath my post being nasty.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
no.
But I mean, how is that different from high school though? In a lot of ways, where like I mean, my experience in high school wasn't all that bad.
But it's trauma
people
in
from
high school, right?
Brazil,
That's what
my
I'm saying.
nigga,
Like most
So
of the
there's
time in
trauma
high
on
school,
the internet too, though.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's
it's
parallels. I mean,
But it's like 400 people
worse,
versus
it's more focused,
the
right.
entire
But
fucking
we're not
group.
convinced.
You can somebody
But-
from
No.
a grown man from Brazil is underneath
convinced.
Bad
Talking shit
Baby's
on some- yeah,
picture,
yes.
yeah.
who's not even a grown ass woman yet,
Yeah.
and he's
But
underneath
that's
his
no
picture.
different than. I mean, I'm just
No.
saying. The level of experience and focus is greater. That's true. The spotlight and the amount of veracity that people will apply is greater because of the expanded audience, right? But I mean, most people's high school experience is like, yeah, most of them were assholes, right? The same way you're like the internet, most of them are assholes.
I mean, that would be almost like saying like, yeah, like that. I mean, it's like. Whenever we were talking about is social media like a you know double-edged or
Yeah,
whatever, it's
yeah.
like I mean that's what it was supposed to be because humans we make money off of stuff,
Right,
you know, so
right.
like
It's inherently gonna
that's
create an issue.
how it was gonna
Sometimes
be like,
it's
but
not
that's not
even-
necessarily what it is. So
Sometimes it's not even like the people that are traumatizing on social media. It's like the content in which you see that is traumatizing. So like for me,
Yeah.
so for me, like what people say to me on social media, that's not traumatizing. But the content that I see on social media,
Yeah.
that shit gets me. You
I
know,
can
like
see that.
whenever I see those videos.
So I was gonna say though, because we keep, and I think there is a lot of fucking evidence to say that social media creates trauma or has trauma or brings out trauma. It still seems synonymous with trauma. Yeah. But I also want to, the reason I say no, to go back to the no, why I say no, because I definitely feel that there are a lot of people that have had extreme amounts of trauma that if it were not for social media, would not have a way to deal with it, to express it, to learn it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think you'd have to have that opportunity. You know, that's the beauty of social media to me, and so that's why I say no.
Okay. Not convinced. Usually you can convince me, but not tonight.
That one.
Next
Appreciate
question.
the comeback and feedback.
Quick, shout out to Zoya joining, Pat 3 joined,
Ayeee.
13 Terrell joined. He had a good comment. He said those same stressors exist in high school, stressors as in things that, you know, trauma, suicide rates, and other social settings, but something about a screen increases the ease of saying shitty things.
Right,
Keyboard warriors. Like
That's what I was saying, though.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
13
Shout out to
Tarot
all
with
them
the
folks.
You
facts.
could be anybody behind a fucking keyboard.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Rob Kardashian on Thursdays.
So we won't die.
All right.
So my next
That
question.
explains a lot.
But my next question I'm about to ask you is a little personal, so you don't have to answer it, or you can fill in the blanks however you want to. You don't have to.
I'm just.
All right. All right. The next topic we're going to talk about is trauma and healing. We were just talking about it,
Yeah.
but transition more into it.
Good segue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Miss the Queen, of course.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever experienced any social media trauma,
Have I ever experienced social media trauma?
or any trauma from social media regarding any, you know?
Not that I can recall. I mean, I've probably seen things that I found very disturbing. I don't think I've ever experienced anything that it's traumatized me. So I'm gonna say no, because I'm pretty desensitized, I'd like to say.
Okay.
And then my name clinically is probably not even the right word. Right. So, no, I'm gonna say no. No.
Okay. Justice?
No, I mean, I don't think I've been traumatized like what Mia said. I don't think I've been traumatized by anything I've seen. Like, there's been instances where I've been, like, taken back and, like, because, like, if you're one of those people that'll comment on, like, one of the posts that go, like, extremely viral, that, like, 1.3 million, and then you, like, put your opinion in there, and then all these fucking trolls will come and attack you. And some people have said some dirty shit to me on that, where it took me back a minute, and I'm like, y'all don't want no parts of that world. I'll delete my shit.
Is that traumatizing?
I mean, maybe like on a spiritual level, maybe it's like traumatizing. But do I feel like it like affects my everyday life and like my decisions every day? No.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Am I traumatized? Will I ever comment on another fucking viral post again? Probably not. So yeah, I am traumatized in that aspect. I'm not going there no more. I'll keep it up here. Y'all can have your fucking keyboards. I'm done.
Yeah, I've been attacked on threads.
Yeah.
Figures turn into Twitter fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, I've seen some crazy ass videos and shit like that, to where it's like shit that it's like to the point where, yeah, like my girl like might try to show me something on her phone, and like if I think it's about to go somewhere, like I just won't even look, you know, like so it's like I definitely feel like there's definitely a level of like of that, like where it's just like
cautiousness.
Yeah, the cautiousness, and like but that's from literally experiencing it and being like, yo, I'm never gonna, like, yo, it told me what the caption told me was gonna happen, but I did not think that Facebook was actually gonna like
real, yeah.
you know, like there's no way,
The caution tape was true.
like, right, like, and it was just like, okay, then you see it and it's like, all right, well, yeah, like, you know, like it was one of those things where like, yeah, I didn't see. Like whenever I brought up the dude that was running around Ohio, the first dude that he shot, the old man outside the gas station or whatever, yeah. Like, and he's like, say whatever her name was, like say her name, and then like shot her, and it was like, yo, like, and then whenever you read and it's like, oh yeah, he was down the street from his house, like literally for a barbecue for his family, like, and he was just grabbing ice. And it was like, yo, like, he wasn't even supposed to be fucking be there, you know? Like, and it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, that shit was fucked up. Yeah. You know, like, and that fucked me up for a while. So, like, I done definitely seen some traumatic shit.
Right.
But it's just like, yeah, that's one thing that I definitely can say that, yeah, that shit shook me for a while. So.
Okay. Me personally, I don't think it's gave me any trauma. I think any trauma that I have personally, it's been, you know, connection with somebody that phases through people or people throughout my life.
Right.
Anything I see on social media, I mean, as we all know, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't. If it doesn't affect me, because I just don't give a fuck. It's the best thing. But I'll keep it short and simple. Mr. Bum Jonas, you want to answer that question?
I mean,
sorry. It's like every time it comes to you, like, oh, what are you gonna say next?
He's got a whole crowd just shifts. It's just like,
what you gotta say now?
right. I mean, it depends on how you define trauma. Have I had was it social media? No, but I had an experience.
We're talking about social media though.
So it was online. Would that count?
That's
MySpace days.
Yeah, it was when I was playing WoW, when I was playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so
I had
you can be social.
I mean, I don't know. It felt traumatizing to me because the experience.
I died.
I mean, for real, actually, low-key, I did in that setting.
Is this when I beat the Lich King for you?
Nah, shut up. That was traumatizing as fuck. Nah, like, so some of y'all may not. Those that play may know, but those that don't. So there's a thing where you can get camped. And so I was, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my god.
He said camped.
You know what I'm talking about? So, okay, so I was in this area or zone or whatever, and I was doing my thing, and I was playing a game, and this other faction came and killed me. Horde came and killed me. And it was no big deal. I came back, boom, boom, boom. And I'm doing my thing, and then all of a sudden I get this random tell from this character that was like, I got you, I'm watching you. It really, I'm gonna be honest, I was geeking a little bit. I had a little bit of some Jim Beam next to me. I was feeling so good, you know what I'm saying? But it was like.
Someone said that to you?
Yeah, there was
like
just
in
a
the
random.
comment section?
Like, it was like, you
Private messages.
Yeah, a whisper.
Yeah.
Someone just sent me a random whisper like, bro, I'm watching you, watch out. I'm like, and I had just got camped by this fucking horde, so I'm like, oh shit. Right. So the crazy part was I was on Lady Dirt, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I switched from Lady Dirt to Dirty Dime. I'm like, oh yeah. Back then, like, nah, you ain't finna get me, cause I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bring my
You're like, I'm switching characters.
we were straight with
STV.
STV. It was that path between
right.
STV. So I'm like, oh no, I got you, cuz. Bring down 30 Darn with my fucking rogue. I'm over here. Wrapped him up, and then he's like, I still got you. Oh, Dirty Darn.
Yeah.
Oh, you playing with me, cuz. And so my heart is just like racing, bro. And for real, I took a shot. I was supposed to be a joint, man. This is the first time I hopped in the guild like, yo, fuck out here right now.
Said I need
out
you.
here, for real. I called in the troops.
Where's the crew?
But it was like, I was really bugging. Like, I mean, I know I'm being funny, but
He looked on the back of the DVD and was like, where's customer service?
For real, I was bugging like, yo, how is this motherfucker? How is he switching from here to here? And he knows who I am, and I switched to this, and I even ran over here, and I'm chilling there like, I still got you. And like, and it was just a little comment. It wasn't like.
So did it end like that?
Yeah, that's how it ended. I just fucking hopped off.
He said I never played again.
I went to a whole other realm and just did something else for like 20 minutes.
Right.
Started another character.
It just left you alone?
It just left me alone.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was. And then there was the time that some weird elf tried to like give me a lap dance, which was kind of traumatizing.
That was always funny.
Because I'm like, I am a boy, Damon. That's not how it works.
Then it was the one time I got to see Hillary Clinton's emails.
That was totally. That was different.
But I was very comfortable with those.
I wasn't interested in pizza.
But you know, like that wasn't nothing compared to the World of Warcraft.
All right, I'm gonna shift up this next question.
Though, don't joke about that.
Because the most common, none of y'all really experienced the trauma. So my next question was, if you did, how could you heal from it? So I'm going to switch it up. Do you know anybody who's ever got trauma from social media? And if you did, how did they heal from it? And if you don't, it's all right. That's what I said. I kind of try to make these questions like, slide in a little bit together. So if you did, let's go a little deeper about it. But
yes.
Pager Ranger.
I've witnessed a lot of females being exposed on social media, and that shit has to be traumatizing. Like, it has to be traumatizing.
I kind of forgot all about that.
Yeah, I don't know how they heal from it exactly, but I know at some point they just had to
let it go.
Yeah, just let it go and move on. And, I guess trust in certain people to keep their circle small.
This is all jokes and comments.
They used to
in there?
literally make like Instagram pages of just exposing girls from like certain high schools. Like they just used to make certain.
That is traumatizing pages.
The question was, we got Sonya. What's good? What's good?
Sonya.
74 Wolf.
Who asked if I was in the place?
13 Taro, yo.
Your wife.
Shout out Damo, man. Can't wait for the project. Yo.
Summer nights.
Sonya said, say that question again. The question was, have you known anyone that has been traumatized by social media? That's the question, right?
Sir.
Okay.
And if you did, how did they heal from it? And if they didn't, did you help them find a process to heal? You know, go a little deep, why not?
Who's it?
I think it was on Miss Justice here.
Okay, so I'm trying to think here. Have I known anybody?
Do you know anybody or have seen anybody, you know, because like I said, the next question was, so I kind of randomized this question. So have you ever seen or do you know anybody who's ever gotten trauma because of social media? And did they heal or was it even impossible to heal?
You know, I've been on Facebook or social media for so long, I have to like really kind of think back. But I mean, off the top of my head, I don't think I've ever like come in contact or known someone who's like been super traumatized from something on social media to where like I had to help them like try to cope with it or like they had to try and, you know, deal with it. I mean, I feel like, no, not that I could think. Come back to me on it.
I got you. The queen.
You know, I do. This is a two-parter.
All right.
Two-parter. I know someone personally,
Right.
and then I don't know someone personally.
Right.
Of course, and it was just a girl mad at a girl, and they put a whole bunch of naked fucking pictures of her up.
Oof.
All over the internet, doing some things when they were drinking, you know, girlfriends, mad at girlfriends, and of course they spewed all their business out there. She's a hoe, she's a slut, look what she does, da-da-da-da, you know.
Got a different dude every day of the week.
And when none of it is true, and what it was pictures of her trying on clothing at a fucking store. You know, bras,
Right.
panties, things like that. And they took it and they spread it like she was being inappropriate. So it traumatized her. She tried to kill herself. You know what I'm saying? It made her look terrible. And you know, she's still alive today, thank God. But it took therapy. It just totally ruined her self-esteem. But now the person I don't know, if you guys remember all over TV, the guy that took video, that drugged his girlfriend and took video of her.
Oh,
yeah,
with the dog.
Forced her.
With the dog.
Yes, the bestiality, and then he posted it all over social media.
Yeah.
Talk about fucking traumatizing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine trying to have the strength to come back from fucking that?
And like explain that.
Explain
you know,
that?
yeah, like explaining and having everybody understand that. It's like once it hits social media, you're done for it, because there's the group that sympathize with you and be like, no, she's fucked up, and then the other one's like, hell no, bro, like
You're a
she
dirty
wanted
bitch.
that.
You're no good.
Yeah.
Either way, you're still having to explain yourself.
You are, yeah, and that's
the
the
people
shitty
that
part.
sympathize are like, oh,
Even
let me know
if
how,
you
know,
don't,
they wanna
yeah.
talk you through, and it's like, I don't
Let's
want to
think
deal
about
with
that for a
shit.
minute.
Leave me the
Even
fuck
if you
alone.
don't explain it. Let's say you're the person who's like, listen,
Nah, fuck that.
I don't
yeah.
know you. Even if I do know you, I'm not going to explain myself.
Right.
You should
Because
have
I don't know
to.
you
The
anything.
trauma that you feel within yourself, you were drugged, you were abused, you were forced to perform sexual acts on an animal,
Right.
you were filmed, and then that person that you loved and trusted put that shit for the whole entire fucking world to watch.
I mean,
That trauma itself is unfucking believable. How do you recover from that?
You don't. You don't. I mean, I don't think that you can. I'm sure. I mean, I think you will eventually, but the
I think you
odds.
gotta step away from social media.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to move out of town.
Yeah, you gotta.
Because your face, especially if that blast all over like Kansas City area where it happened, and you go into your fucking local Walmart, they'll be like,
Weren't you?
You got
So
You know, like,
But that's
This is-
with
and
social media. That's anywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
you
gonna
be
run
in
to
Iowa
that.
and they be like, "Yo, you
here's
Like,
the,
so
beauty-
it's like,
here's
no,
the
like,
beauty of social media, and I don't
You don't
say
get
this
away
to
from
make
it.
light of anyone's trauma that happens as a result of social media, but it all, like, 15 minutes of fame was a thing before social media, but it's even more of a thing now. So whatever traumatic experience that you have, as bad as it is, and it will go on for some time, but the reality is, and I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but it's like, okay, well, there's a silver lining. Like, you know what? Someone else is going to fuck up worse than you did. Next week, there's going to be something else that pops that's going to knock
Right.
your viralness
Right.
out the way. I'm not saying
Absolutely,
it's okay.
no, you're right.
So,
I
but,
feel like that's a lot of people's thought process on it, though.
Yeah,
Like, that's
right.
why, like, celebrities don't
Here today,
say
gone tomorrow.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
that's
some
why they
ways,
don't say,
it's-
like, address this issue right
yeah.
now, because something else will pop up next week, and nobody's gonna give a fuck about why
Nah.
Tristan Thompson and Chloe got back
the
together.
news cycle is so
Like-
quick. Or better yet, you know, like, I mean, they're tripping off for her being forced to do these things, right? And
Yeah.
then next week it'll be conversation of, I don't know, fucking orange cake fucking comes to town. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Something else will outshadow it.
Right, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
But I in that scenario, that's a whole wild one. I would, again, I'm not trying to make light of the victim, but I would wonder, what else have you been through that allowed this level of abuse and traumatization? You know what I
That's
mean?
another topic.
Okay,
In,
all right,
in the
I'm just
words
gonna-
of you, that's another topic.
Great words. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I got really sucked in that story. I kind of forgot we was at. Like, I'm like, man, this is a hell of a conversation. I'll keep mine short and simple.
What a good host you are.
That's what I do. You know what I mean? I'm so here. I'm so in the, just the whole environment.
Hey,
I'm all in the air.
real quick. So the question was, have you had, did you know someone that had a social media
You know anyone
trauma?
that's- yes.
And how would you help them? And Ayeee said, no sir, I'm lightweight ghetto. I slap the shit out of folks, so that's how I advise them. Simple and sweet.
Yep.
I'll keep this long story short. I would just say I've seen a service member. He had his girlfriend, long distance relationship. He ended up finding out that his brother was nailing her, and he ended up sending her pictures to him.
Jody.
Yeah, it was like a Dear John note with pictures of them fucking videos.
What?
And within a week, he killed himself.
Oh,
Yeah, he
man.
went crazy. He bought they found so much alcohol. He went missing for a while. He's smoking spice.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah, so that's why when you said the suicide, he took
Yeah.
himself. So I say there's definitely something there that, some people can't handle it. But we'll keep it like that. So this third question, I'm gonna kind of go out here because it's banger. You know what I'm saying?
It's a banger.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Do you think
A
social?
thrax banger?
Let's not go with that.
Big
I don't
facts
like
with the
that.
hammer.
Big facts. All right. Do you think social media has put a better touch on healing others? Because we're talking about trauma healing, right? Do you think social media? So you think if someone's going through something, do you think social media give you more access to say to go see if they're okay? To give you access to see, hey, do you want to go get help, or maybe you could help them? Does that make sense?
So is there a bright side to the social media
Right.
access?
Is there more of a
Okay.
healing to social media, or do you think it's still the same nowadays?
I won't necessarily compare it, but I'll just say that there whenever it comes to social media, there's a level of connectivity that is positive. You look at stuff that whether it be GoFundMe's or whatever it be, that goes to positive causes, and you just see all these people from around the world that are willing to divulge into this one cause, and it's maybe they would have done that shit if there wasn't no social media, if they saw the fucking article in the newspaper about it and mailed in their money or whatever. But it was a lot easier with social media to just be able to, I seen the John Legend just posted $50,000 to protesters bond, so I'm gonna go ahead and post $50, or something like that, where I just feel that there definitely is a level of positive connectivity that happens because of social media.
Justice.
I'm gonna say no on that one.
No.
Oh.
Great answer.
I'm gonna say no. And I'm gonna say no because it goes back to what we were saying about being desensitized. So okay, so I'm in a group, right? I recently reactivated my Facebook to get into this group to get more information for informational purposes, because I don't necessarily work in an environment where I can reach out. So, I reactivated it, and I saw a whole bunch of people like having a really hard time with what is going on right now.
Right.
So it's a Crunchy Moms group.
Okay.
You know, and all these Crunchy Moms.
Crunchy Moms
That's what it's
group.
called. It's called Crunchy Moms.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, in this group, you know, we talk a lot about, like, how, like, we're really invested in, like, natural remedies and, like, the way that, like, humans were supposed to heal themselves, you know, like, within and, like, with stuff, like, besides pharmaceuticals. So, they're all having a really hard time. And they were like, hey guys, like, you know, I'm not really doing well right now. Anybody, can I reach out to anybody? Anybody reach out to me? And then, like, on that post, there's like hundreds of comments, right? Girl, I'm here for you. Love you. Mom, stick together. Word. You know, like, yeah, inbox me anytime you need me. And then I said, like, yeah, you know, I'm in this area. You know, if anybody wants to get together in person, like, let's just get a tribe and, like, so we can support each other. And then I got a hit. A Mom and Lee Summit wanted to be like, yeah, like, let's totally meet up and let's do this. And I was like, okay, great. Like, I'm so ready to be with people who are like-minded, you know, because I'm struggling here. And then it, like, never happened.
Okay.
Because, like, saying it on social media, like, in the moment is like, yeah, like,
I'm all for it, but
yeah,
like
let's
doing
do
the action,
it. But then, like, when it comes down to it, it's like, oh. So then I'm, like, right back to where I was. So I'm not healed. And I don't feel like I was, like, that was complete. Like, the mission was complete, you know what I mean?
So you say personally for you, it's just...
Personally, for me, yeah. You know, I mean, like, you could take ads all day about counselors near you, you know, or, like, you know, fucking Dr. Ben Hoover is so great with his virtual, not desensitizing face mask, fucking FaceTime. Talk to me about your feelings. No, there's no healing on social media.
Okay. Think of all the people they connected through like, for the protests and shit like that. Like, how would they have strategized that without social media?
But that's not healing, though.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Can I get my turn before
Go ahead,
just
Queen.
to start?
Yeah, go ahead,
out?
Queen.
Okay, go.
I say yes.
Let's vote rags for the host.
Leave it in the comments.
I do.
Anybody say
I
anything,
say it has because it has opened many doors that I think millions of people never had access to before. People who maybe are shut-ins, who don't leave their home, that need therapy, now have access to therapy. People who may not have money to therapy have access to free therapy, or people who are willing to engage other people who are afraid of crowds or afraid to meet people one-on-one. Personally, I have a life coach that I'm in contact with that I would have never in a million years went out and sought out. Never. I am reading books that I would have never have read had it not been for my contacts through my own counseling seeking, which, if it wasn't for social media, I would have never found. So, yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Kingdom Soul.
Jonas.
Everybody comfortable?
Yeah, you know what?
If you need to.
Yeah.
I say yes that social media definitely has provided healing for people. It just has. I don't have to go into any real in depth. I think Miss Kim, I think Damo have all given great examples. The only other example I will add is that show that we just finished watching.
Love on the Spectrum?
No, In the Dark, Off in the Dark, Out. Yeah.
Oh, the HBO.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
I'll Be Gone in the Dark. So.
Excellent. By the way.
Long story short, if it were not for social media, this man, who was a cop by the way, would not have been caught.
Golden State Killer.
The Golden State Killer, who had over 70, let's say 50 plus years of terrorizing the entire state with 50 plus rapes and murders. And these are women. I mean, honestly, by the time, as we were getting into the documentary, by the time we get to the third episode, we were only at victim number 20. And this is a 6-episode series. So the fact that, and if it wasn't for that author going through the investigative journalism that she did, which required a lot of social media contact, a lot of internet investigation, and then the article that she wrote, from that was posted digitally and was moved through social media and went viral because of that. That sparked a whole new wave of investigations and finally
people coming out.
Yeah.
Just information,
forward,
people
yeah.
coming forward, new clues, new tips.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell, they found the guy through the DNA testing stuff, which is another aspect of social media, right? So at the end of the day, long story short, this guy is captured or arrested at 72 years old, and now these women and men, couples, like there was 30 different people gathered, and out of all of them, only one couple was still left, and most of them started off as couples. So there was a lot of fucking catharsis and healing that happened because of social media.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, that to me it is a resounding and strong yes.
You got a couple more posts right there. Go and get the love and shout outs to them.
Let's see here. So Saya says I agree with Justice as far as therapy for social media. Sonny Fasado, aka Andrew, aka Betty Join, Ethan Tier, who was there for our Sunday Blaze Day.
That's what we do.
Join was good. He said, "What we talking about this time, big dog?" This is SprinkleSumSalt podcast. We over here just chopping about random questions that Big Thrax has brought for us today. We're
The best host we've ever had.
Social media and trauma.
If you want that to happen, just say host Thrax, Big Thrax. Go
Sonny
follow
said-
Thrax Nation.
In the chat.
That's hater. That's a little hater right there.
Sonny said there's good and bad with social media. It's the maturity of each person using it. Absolutely. But I mean that's the catch with everything, right? I mean, social media can be no different than a gun, than a drug, than a cigarette, than alcohol, than a car.
It's just a tool.
Actually, it is a drug.
It's absolutely a drug.
People are absolutely addicted to it.
It's absolutely a drug.
How many
Absolutely.
wrecks does it cost?
Another conversation.
Yeah.
That's another
That's
topic.
another topic.
Pretty
That's
much.
another topic.
Well, that was a hell of an episode, everybody. Oh, Pager Rager. Get your opinion on that. You have an answer for that. Do you think social media has done, I guess, more healing and more connection to others? Or has it just been kind of the same as it's been the past few years?
Yeah, I think it's a form of, it could help you find connections. Like if you need help like that, I feel like
Okay.
in certain ways, yeah.
I personally think it has. I personally think it's definitely made it way easier for somebody to have access to, like you said, free counseling if you want to get it. 'Cause a lot of people are not for it, and just like you guys said, the killer, like all that, people were able to speak up. So I believe it does a magnificent healing. But on that note, anybody else got any other side comments, shout outs, no dates? Summer motherfucking nights coming out to.
Hey, it's pretty much
Midnight?
dropping. It's pretty much.
Pre-order that motherfucker right now.
Hey,
Let's go get that.
Hey, pre-order, get that shit
Support
now.
that shit.
And our host, who did a
Man,
magnificent
the best
job.
fucking host the show's ever had. Thrax Nation, TRAX /NATAION. Go on, follow. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We love all y'all. Sprinkle some salt.
Rager.
We'll see y'all another time.
Miss Kim. Alright then, that's gonna do it for this time, folks. Hope y'all found a spark of interest along the way. If not, spark another one and try again. So, what y'all finna get into?